Joining me now is Tibor from Canon to talk us through the brand new Canon EOS R1. Tibor, there's a lot to unpack here with this new release, but I feel like we should start at the beginning with the pedigree of the EOS 1. Can you tell me a little bit more about the history of this product?
Yeah, the EOS 1 series cameras have been well known by professionals for decades now, as the EOS 1 was originally released in 1989, and they know these cameras for speed, quality, durability, reliability, and this is what all these cameras represent.
So in terms of, the range of cameras that Canon has, this is really known as the top of the range, the best that Canon has to offer, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And that's because we try to make sure that these products are actually delivering what the professionals are needing.
So speaking of quality and the decisions that have gone into this camera, can you tell me a bit more about the 24 megapixel sensor and why that's an important decision?
Yes, so this camera actually features a 24.2 megapixel backside illuminated stack sensor, which is quite important because most of the photographers associate this type of sensor with low light capabilities. As Canon, we try to focus on quality, and that's our main aspect, and we don't want to actually compromise on quality. Therefore, we're trying to develop methods that is actually getting a really fast readout speed. For example, with this camera, it's actually 40% faster than the EOS R3, and it's actually at the same speed as the mechanical shutter of the 1DX Mark III, which means that there's not really a need for global shutter, because if we would implement global shutter, that would mean that we would have compromise in dynamic range and low light capabilities. We just would like to make sure that the camera delivers the quality that the professionals are expecting from these cameras.
So just to pick up on something you said there, Tibor, about speed, how fast is fast when it comes to this camera?
Oh, it is really fast. What we did with this camera, we also increased the speed of it in various different ways. So the camera is featuring a Digic Accelerator processor together with the Digic X. These two processors and the sensor can actually formulate a really good imaging platform that really helps with the high-speed shooting in various different ways. As I mentioned, we've got the high-speed readout, so it keeps the minimum rolling shutter minimum. And additionally, that imaging platform helps to transfer the files fairly quickly from the sensor to the processor, and then from there even to the client, because it also has really fast communication. So this sensor working together nicely with these two processors producing amazing image quality. The camera can also do really high-speed continuous shooting at 40 frames per second, and these are the main advantages which will help professional photographers to get ahead of the game.
Now, I also noticed this, which would look great on my mantelpiece, but I'd imagine that's not what it's for. What is this?
As you can tell from the shape, it's very similar. This is showing the internal frame of the product. It's actually the magnesium alloy body that is making the whole product quite light. And of course, it will be sealed around to make it more durable, water resistant and dust resistant as well. This is the key for robustness.
So with a line of features that kind of covers so many different areas, is there anything that really stands out for you?
It's the insane improvements in the autofocus compared to any previous cameras, because this is actually a really fast-paced camera, and it will also make me a professional photographer if I would pick one up, even though I'm not one. In this camera, we have new deep learning algorithms that really helps photographers. And because it has the action priority functionality, it made me feel like I'm a professional, because I could use it in the various different sports that it supports, and I could actually get decent images with really high hit rate. And that's also thanks to the cross-type autofocus that this camera features in the sensor. And basically what that means is that we have in the photodiodes two-directional sensitivity, so it can pick up on both directions, vertical and horizontal, which makes it easier for the camera to focus on any subjects that are further away, very small in the frame, or also when you've got some stripy shirts, for example, on a jersey. Or another good thing about this is for sports photographers is that you can easily shoot through the net from behind the goalpost, because that's where some of the cameras in the past were getting confused with the wires of the net. This camera is not going to be fooled by that.